This is Luton and I'm here today with my 200th video. Woo! Yeah, so to be honest, okay, I hadn't even noticed that I got to that many videos were it not for the fact that several of my subscribers pointed it out. But seeing as I have got to 200, I decided that I would do something, and considering that my my WoW sort of collection history video is still not yet ready because I've been trying to get pics from people that I used to know, which is a nightmare because they won't get back to me because they're doing other things now and blah blah blah. So I decided I'd do another Q&A video and see what kind of questions people would ask me, and I've been doing that through Twitter and looking at my videos, things like that. So let's just get straight into it, okay? And the first question I've got here is, what was your most epic Battlefield 3 match? And I'm really pleased to say that it's actually online. It was epic. It was epic because of the way the end of the round came about, rather than, you know, an epic round to me is something you remember and you're like, oh, you've got to, you know, fight to the end and all this kind of stuff. You know, so it's not an epic round in terms of me just running out, getting 1,000 kills or anything like that. But it was epic because, you know, I'll link it below. I'll link it right here. It was actually one of my first kind of commentaries, really, because it was such a good round I wanted to comment on it. And it was on Bad Company 2, Vietnam. I think it was Hill 137. And if you haven't seen it, you need to have a little look at that map, because it was a really, really good map. And yeah, basically it just was a great round for me because I was playing on my own. I didn't have my team to back me up or anything. I didn't have my clan members, so I was playing solo. And I just sort of used all the kind of rules that I follow generally when I'm playing the game about how to move, how to approach things, how to deal with enemy and stuff like this. And it all just came about, and it also proved another one of my things where people say, oh, one person, you know, does make a big difference in Battlefield, and it just shows that you really can, provided the kind of situation is right, and so on and so on. And you know, the round just basically played out. I had a first good couple of bases, and then we moved forward, just took some more bases and stuff. But it was really the end of the round because it came right down to that final ticket, you know. And I tried to approach the base several times. I tried to get into the last crow's nest, and they had it really heavily locked down, you know. And I was trying to push up the hill, and none of my team were coming with me. They were staying like far back behind, you know how it is, and they weren't coming forward. And you know, I'd spend time getting up there. I'd clear a couple of guys, I'd get in, arm the target, they'd kill me, disarm it. Anyway, and I just managed to get in, and I got the disarm right on the last ticket. And so, you know, for me, it was like, it was a big effort for me, and it all just went and came together really, really well. So for me, that was one of my most epic matches, one of the most that I remember anyway. Okay, so the next question was, what sensitivity do you play on? And a lot of people have been asking this. I have changed it around a little bit, because recently I was on about kind of like, imagine it was a scale of 1 to 10, alright? And I was playing on about 5 or 6. And it's just kind of like, I'd always been that way. And then some people the other day were saying, oh, you can never turn fast enough to turn around and get onto people. And I was like, yeah, actually, you know, it's a good point. So I pushed it up a little bit. So now I go on about 7 or 8. And if you watch my gameplay and compare it, you'll see that I often can flick around much faster, and I can get into avenues and stuff like that. There's obviously trade-offs between the two, because working on a console and your analog sticks, getting those precise aims, it can sometimes be a bit more difficult, you know. And so the higher sensitivity with that, those micro movements on the analog sticks are going to be much more difficult to control. So it's a bit of a trade-off, but it does allow you to kind of turn and move a lot more, you know, fluidly. But when you want to get those precision aims, it can be a little bit more tricky, so it requires just a little bit more time. But it's kind of a good trade-off. And another thing that some people have said before as well is, you know, they appreciate, like, that some guy posted, he said that I take the time to sometimes aim as I go down. And I know some people are going to laugh at me saying that, but I do. I try to take the extra half second to aim, and sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't pay off. But I always think that if you come on a corner, sometimes people open up too soon, and that can screw things up. So I think always I try to take the extra half second just to aim. And as I say, you're always going to have moments where it doesn't work out, or, you know, they move or whatever. But yeah, for me anyway, that's what I do. So I play currently ishly high, around 7 or 8. Okay, next one. How did you get into Battlefield, and would you say it's the best FPS? The first thing I'm going to answer there is, yes, I would say it's the best FPS, purely for the fact that I think it offers the most range of combat. It offers roles for people who aren't, you know, hardcore players, and it also offers roles for people who are. I think it gives you the most opportunity to play in specific roles that you want. I think it offers more realism, but it also offers some good sort of arcade fast play, especially with the new update. So they've kind of really balanced things all around. I think that it's constructed the best. I think it's got the best engine, the best graphics. I think the whole package really is the best, and as a series as well, if you look back progressively, I think it really stands true to its sort of brand, its series. I don't think it's compromised. I don't think it's done any of the other things. It hasn't kind of just done reskins. They generally try to add some new bits and pieces and things like that. So yeah, in terms of FPS, like where it stands, I think it's really high up there. And then how did I get into Battlefield? Well, I got into Battlefield ages and ages ago. It would have been Battlefield 2, and it would have been PC. And it was my friend Phil, when I was at uni, my friend Phil, he was a really hardcore gamer like me. And basically, I used to just have like all night PC online sessions with my mate Phil, and what it was he had his own setup downstairs, and his parents had quite a large house, and downstairs they had his own PC setup, which was really cool, and then upstairs he had another setup, so we'd have two setups, and we would play, you know, all night, like a good 9-hour stint or whatever. He played like a really long time, well into the early hours of the morning, just non-stop. So that's what really got me into the whole thing. And obviously I played FPS before. I've talked so much about playing GoldenEye, but there's loads of other FPS games, you know, there's all sorts of different, you know, Quake, whatever. There's loads and loads of different things. Unreal Tournament, you know, there's Half-Life I played loads. So there's so many FPS games out there. And at the time, the one that I played, I remember, you know, when I was at school as well studying, and you know, we used to have we had like a row of about, I don't know, like 10 PCs, and they all like land up, and I used to play massive Half-Life things there. So yeah, that was really good fun. I remember the Half-Life ones all modded up as well. You get, you know, crazy skin mods and stuff like that, and you could get like Kermit the Frog, and you'd have like Kermit the Frog running around with like a rail gun going and like blowing people in half and stuff. So it was good times. So yeah, that's really how I got into it all. Okay, next question is talking about the ACWR, saying, will it get nerfed down, and what do I think about that? Well, with the ACWR, it's okay, it's a good gun. I mean, I know it has very little recoil, but it's not that powerful of a gun, and it often can take quite a few rounds in the scale of other guns to put people down. And you know, I don't like talking too much about guns, so I don't want to go on this too much, but when I've talked about nerfing things before, I think it needs to be quite a severe problem, you know, to really require any kind of change. And I haven't been in many matches where I see like 10 people on the other team using the ACWR. There might be one person every now and then. So yeah, it's a good gun and it handles well, and so on and so on, but I haven't seen any kind of epidemic with it like the DART or the USCS, and unless something gets into that kind of situation, I really don't think it needs to be changed. So as far as I'm concerned, I think it's fine. Okay, next up, the question, which is my least favourite map on the Close Quarters pack. Now, I think most people would always expect people to say Scrap Metal, because it's big, winding and blah blah blah. But actually I'm going to go with Operation 925, and the reason for that is Operation 925 kind of irritates me. It has like so many routes downstairs, and you always spawn and you can't get back upstairs, and then when you do, like, you have to run up and down and up and down. And do you ever remember when you were at school and you had to do stupid, or have you ever done circuit training, okay, and you have to do that bloody stupid thing where you like run one thing and touch down and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth? It's like that game mode is like that. Operation 925 is irritating because it's just these long corridors, and people just kind of kill, run up the other end, kill, run back the other end, kill. There's a lot of that, and although that's what you are doing on the other maps, they're kind of more involved. You kind of move around, up and down and round and round, and you get a lot more angles going on, you know. In Operation 925, I just don't find the downstairs car park is really cool, because like I said in my video, you get some awesome combat and things blow up in the dark, and it's like, look at that. But when it actually comes to how the game plays out itself, I just find it a bit irritating, and I find all the other maps kind of gel a little bit better. So for me, my least favourite, it's Operation 925. Okay, and the next one, is Close Quarters really expanding Battlefield? A lot of people have been saying that it's too much like COD. I've covered this already in a few things, but basically my opinion on this is, yes, it is expanding Battlefield, and to say that it's too much like COD is an insanely stupid oversimplification. Alright, it offers a load of really great combat gameplay. You can use it as warm-up rounds, whatever. It's just it's infantry based gameplay, and yeah, okay, it's not like standard Battlefield, but what's wrong with that? It's just one DLC, and yeah, I think it offers a load of great fun gameplay. And sometimes, you know, you don't want to have that hard, you know, sort of slow, steady, you know, combat that you get with Battlefield, and I think it just offers people the opportunity to play in a different way in the same game rather than changing out for something else. So overall, I think it's a good thing, and yeah, I think comparing it to other games, you can always compare it to other games, okay, people are always going to do that, but to always make the jump between those two, I think is something that's a little bit of a broken record, and I think people need to just get over it. Okay, and now we had a slightly more off-topic question, which was asking me, what do you think about growing fast food companies in London? Well, okay, there's lots of fast food companies. There's fast food companies everywhere in the world, and during my lifetime I've been involved with a few things, and I had a friend who worked for a quite famous chef in the UK here, and there's a whole movement in the UK and everywhere, I think, called slow food, and it's just about like good produce and blah blah blah. The truth is that, you know, okay, good cooking and so on can be really quick and really easy and la la la, but sometimes I am a bit lazy and I just don't do it. Okay, that's just me. So fast food, I think the thing with this, right, okay, this is going back to my kind of philosophy thing again, so people will like this, I guess. With anything, alright, you can do things too much, but there's nothing wrong with doing things sometimes, okay? So, you know, if you eat tons of chocolate, or if you eat tons of fast food and you eat lots of bad food, it's obviously going to be really bad for you. But seriously, there is nothing wrong with just having something here and there, and just, you know, once a week or even whatever, okay? So long as you live a kind of generally active lifestyle and you generally kind of go out and do things, there's nothing wrong with it. But it's all about people's own choices, and that's the thing at the end of the day. You know, if people make their choices wisely and they actually think about what they're doing, then there's going to be no problem. It's when people don't think for themselves that's where the issue comes in, and at the end of the day, people have only themselves to blame for how things go down. You know, if you want to get fitter, which is like, for example, myself right now, I've started going back and doing some training and things like that, so you know, it's on yourself. But at the end of the day, you can't force people to do things. That's the world we live in, and you know, if people want this stuff, they're going to buy it. If people want other things, I think it's just down to the society, community in general, to kind of try and educate and share and say, hey look, this is actually good stuff and you can do this as well. So that's kind of where I am on that one, what could be a very, very big question. I've tried to answer it quite quickly. The next one is, I've had this question a few times actually, and it's saying, can you give me some tips on how to start YouTubing? What capture software do I use? What's my recording setup? You know, how does my voice come over clear, etc, etc. There's always various ways that you can do this, okay? So I'm just going to tell you my one. I don't know enough about sort of people's PC setups to tell you about that. But for me, running on PS3, and you can do this with Wii, and you can do it with Xbox. I like how I thought of Wii before Xbox. I love you Xbox players. Basically, okay, I've got a Hauppauge HD PVR, and a lot of people will know what this is if you just search it online, but the best place to go to find out about the Hauppauge HD PVR is a place called Dizzy Doug TV, and he does like tech reviews and stuff like that. I'll post a little link here to his channel and that specific video that he did talking about it. He did several videos on it, so go to his channel and search to find out about it. And basically, if you're running on a PC or a Mac, there's different software that you can use for running with the Hauppauge HD PVR, and I think if you have a PC, then the default software that comes with it works absolutely fine, but with a Mac you need something else, so I'm running with Elgato iTV. I'll post the links to the setup and stuff that I've got in the video below, and it's pretty straightforward really. You just plug the PS3 into the Hauppauge HD PVR, and then that goes into the computer, and then your software, you start recording, you capture it, and then I export it. And because I'm running on a Mac, I then will, you know, do it in iMovie. And like, for example, right now if I'm doing audio, I'm recording this on GarageBand, but in iMovie you can also just record live your commentaries and stuff like this. And so that's basically what I do, and then I export it, and so, you know, la la la, and you can add any other bits and pieces, graphics you want using software that you have. And then that kind of leads into the next question as well, which was asking, oh, on my mic, I should just say I use a Blue Snowball mic. It's generally okay, it's kind of mid-range. A lot of people say that the Blue Snowball is not as good, and I've seen several videos comparing like the Blue Snowball to like the Yeti and things like that. The only thing that is not good about the Blue Snowball is the range on it, okay? So you can hear me right now talking, I'm about, I don't know, 50 mil away, maybe 100 mil away from the mic itself. If I sit back, you'll hear that you lose a lot of the audio quality. It really goes right down, so you have to kind of sit talking into it. But again, most of the time when people are recording, they will kind of do that, so I don't really see it as an issue. And when I've seen people comparing the mics, they sit far back, and yeah, so it's a good mic. And that leads on to the next question, which basically says, how in the world do you find time to game? You work, make, edit, produce videos and guides, and you still have time to game. Well, the thing is, I don't have as much time to game as I would like, but my working hours kind of slightly dictates things. I'm not going to go into it all, but anyway, it kind of, the way that my lifestyle is kind of structured allows me to work fairly late into the evening, and so often I will kind of be recording these things kind of like now. It's sort of 11 o'clock, and then I will go on and edit a bit more, edit, and you know, then I might hop on, play for a bit of game or whatever, you know, and it just kind of all fits together. The whole editing part with the kind of videos that you do, unless you're making some kind of really detailed video, that's what takes time to edit, because you have to find the right footage, cut it together, think about how you're going to structure it. You often have to script it and so on and so on. But when you're just talking about general gameplay and you have these things in your head already, it's not too difficult to kind of find a round, put some video together and so on. Also the kind of chatting videos and stuff like this where you're kind of discussing topics, they're not too difficult to do, and you can kind of roll and talk over it. So doing that and kind of fitting it in with gameplay is not too hard. The thing that takes the longest amount of time is exporting. That's the thing that really annoys, and I think anyone would tell you that. Exporting and rendering videos, that's the thing that really takes time, and people don't appreciate the time that these takes. You know, a 15-minute HD video can take an hour or 2 hours or whatever. You know, it can take a really long time to export, and it's just, that's the time it takes. So if you make a mistake or you want to go back and redo something, it can take a really long time, and then you have to upload it. And I'm quite lucky because my connection is quite fast, so uploading videos is not too bad for me, even you know, large file sizes and stuff like that. So yeah, it just kind of all comes together and works really, but it does take a long amount of time. And so I just try to do what I can. You know, I don't do the whole kind of bashing out videos every single day. You know, I'm not a professional sort of making videos round the clock every single day. But I do try to just, you know, put out what I can, and hopefully people enjoy the stuff that I make. Okay, this is a good one. Have you ever rage quitted? Surprisingly, very, very little. I tend to not get enraged. Like, it's not very often. I tell you one time, it was COD 4, and it was before I joined my FPS clan. I'd finished playing WoW, and I was getting back into console, and I started playing COD 4, and I played for like 6-7 months without a clan, just solo, just me in games, just playing, just nobody else. I didn't have anyone really to play with. I just played solo all the way, and I played as I do, you know, just for the objective, hard fighting, you know, and it was kind of good, you know, one-man army. Yeah, I remember it was actually like, it was the flashpoint that made me join a clan, because I had the worst game of BOG on COD 4. I was literally just burning red. I was like an angry demon, like just imagine me looking like Hellboy. I was just like, ah! And my whole team was so stupid, I couldn't even, oh my god. It was just, I think I was so clouded with rage that I can't even remember clearly what happened, but I remember being so angry that it was very, very out of character. And I didn't throw my controller down or anything in that kind of way, but I did just kind of go, turn off my PS3 for like 5 days, and then I kind of was like, I'm never playing online again. And then I kind of had like a bit of a zen like realization. I was like, it's cool. I was like, I just need to play with a team. So I joined a clan and blah blah blah. I don't want to say any cliched things like the rest is history, but that's pretty much where we're going with it. But yeah, overall, I don't tend to rage because I tend to be more disappointed. Like, I just kind of get disillusioned and be like, wow, okay, this is how this is going. All right then. But I try to play one round if a team doesn't seem to be that great, because I'll give people a chance, you know, because like I've said before, sometimes people can surprise you. If you start playing well, they kind of go, hey, this guy's playing for the objective, we've got a chance here. And I've been in several games where we seem to be in a completely no-win situation, and just because we were fighting for the objective, everyone else suddenly wakes up, and then before you know it, you've won the round. So I like to always give things a little chance, but then, you know, if we go into a second round and like my team haven't even left the base, I'm just like, okay, I'm not playing with you guys, and I just leave, because there's no point playing in a game like that. It's not about rage quitting, it's just there is no point, it's not a game to play, so whatever. So yeah, that's my answer to that one. Okay, next one. How come you started YouTubing, and also when did you start taking YouTube more seriously than you did at the beginning, and what do you think about your audience? Well, I started YouTubing really just to make some videos, just to post some stuff and to just do things for my clan, because I was thinking about that kind of things. When did I start taking it more seriously? Funnily enough, Mark Remo from Pixel Enemy, who I work sort of with things now, and he made his great video about how not to be a noob on Bad Company 2, and it was such a good video. I thought, yeah, this is telling people exactly what they need to know, and I need to start doing this too. And also a lot of people in my clan had asked me to do bits and pieces about tutorial stuff, so I thought, okay, I'm going to take that on and, you know, do stuff. So that's when I started moving it forward, and then I sort of applied to do stuff for the Battlefield O channel, and I worked on that for a bit, Battlefield O TV, and then things changed around there a little bit, and I decided to kind of step out and do my own stuff more. So now I've been working more with Pixel Enemy and doing my own things, and yeah, so that's where I've been going. What do I think about my audience? Well, I guess I try to make videos that I think will help people and that I think people will like, and that I try to make stuff that I would be kind of interested to watch and listen, and so I try to sort of do that as well. And a couple of people have said things like, oh, I wouldn't have thought about it in that way, and some people like my kind of more chatty, you know, some people said philosophy. I guess so. I think philosophy is too big a word to describe what I've been talking about in videos, because often I'm just talking about, you know, life-ish stuff, you know, but yeah, I just try to put stuff out there that I think is interesting, and therefore I hope other people will find interesting, and things that I want to share, you know, because sometimes I think about stuff and I just think, yeah, that would be good to put forward there. And gaming is something that I've always loved, so I want to be able to share that and put it forward, and I just want people to kind of enjoy it, and I want to try and just put forward my thoughts and hope that people like and enjoy. And also I try my best, but it's very difficult to reply to a lot of people. I get much more replies now than I used to, so it is very difficult to reply, but I do my best. And I'm sure that this happens with a lot of people on YouTube, that when they start out they very, you know, talking to their subscribers, and then as the channel grows it becomes more difficult because so many people are sending you messages, and for example so many people trying to play with me on PSN, sending me messages all the time. It's just impossible. I can't, you know, play with the amount of people, and I can't reply to everything, but I do my best to reply, but sometimes it's really hard with everything else that I have to do. Okay, the next one up is, what game from this fall's lineup are you most excited for? Now, I don't know if it's really the fall, but it's coming 2012 or so, it's been said anyway, and it's called Dishonored, and it just looks amazing. If you haven't really seen much about this game, just YouTube or search it, whatever, Dishonored. Think sort of Blade Runner meets Metropolis in a Bioshocky way, and then throw in some Victorian Gothic charm in, and you're nearly there. It's a dystopian world, and it's just the detail and the look of it, and there's you can like take on the form of rats and animals, or you can sort of possess them. I can't remember. It allows you to access other areas. If you look at the characters and the backdrops and the environments and the concept art for this game, if you watch some of the videos for it as well, it just looks unbelievable. Some of the staff working on it as well, you've got people like the art director from Half-Life 2. And it really is like an art project. It's just going to be an amazing game. It's the game that I really am looking forward to the most this year. People might have thought I was going to say Medal of Honor or something like that. Medal of Honor is going to be a load of balls, isn't it? Seriously. I mean, the previous one sucked, and for all the hype and blah blah blah, I just really don't rate it, and for all that they talk it up, I honestly really don't. COD as well is coming, isn't it? Woo! Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, for me, Dishonored, this really is the one that I'm looking for. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. I will put a little maybe YouTube link in the bottom here, and I'm hoping and praying that it's going to be everything it promises to be. Okay, and now coming up to my last one, really. How many clans have you been in before VG? VG is my current clan, it's Veritas Gaming. and that was made off the back of some bad crap that happened with my previous clan, which was appalling actually. It's like one of the worst things that's ever happened to me in a clan, which was absolutely insane. I'll tell that another day. But yeah, the previous clan before that was called Shadow Company, and before that I was in a game called Tactical, or a guild rather, Tactical Warfare, Tactical Gaming. That was the first one I did with COD 4. So that was those ones. Those were my kind of console FPS clans. And then before that, obviously I was in WoW for ages, and trust me, that is a story long enough for its own thing, which I keep saying I'm going to do, and I badly want to do it. But in WoW I had 3 main clans. Three main clans. I'll go in reverse order because I'm going back through everything. Fragile was my last clan in WoW, and I was with them for a good long time, maybe a year I guess, and we did a lot of the kind of the first big expansion and a lot of that content there. And the clan before that I was in was Lucid, and Lucid was an epic clan. We were like the biggest, one of the biggest, probably at the time the biggest, the most powerful Horde clan on my server, and we did pretty much all content. We were at one point we were pretty much the only major clan, or guild as you say in WoW, the major guild on WoW for Horde at that time, and that was good days. Seriously, we did everything, and we did PvP, PvE to the max. I was one of the lead warriors, and I was one of the officers. It was good. Really good times. I wouldn't ever change it out. Before that I was in a guild which was kind of precursor to Lucid, and that was called Lions, and Lions was a PvP only guild, and yeah, we rocked PvP. Some of my best playing friends from WoW were there, and one of my best friends, I've got to say, is Tinkerpan, or Andra, one of my super friends who played with me all through WoW. So yeah, it was all good times. And before that, I didn't really have anything like that. I didn't have any guilds or clans because there was no kind of online gameplay before that point. It was all kind of like GameCube, N64, PS1, PS2, so nothing was online before that. So I guess I've had one. I obviously have had more than that. Like in WoW, I had a couple of other clans in between. So if you want to count those, I guess I would say I had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 clans. 9 clans in total, I guess, in the period, which is kind of, yeah, so it's not too bad really. But my journey through guilds and gaming in general has been pretty long, and lots and lots of stories to tell. So I'm sure maybe I should try and do like a weekly look back to the past video, where I kind of look back at an event or a game or a moment which I had, because there's so many stories and things I can think back to. This is something that I really love about gaming, that you can look back to thinking about things. And actually, talking back to one of the previous questions that we had earlier on, where someone was saying what's so good about Battlefield, something that's so good about Battlefield is the fact that you can actually talk about it. And I'm sure people will say, oh no, you can do that in other games, but I don't, you know, with other online games. It's so true, I mean, with WoW and other stuff like that. But when we're talking about FPS games, there's not a huge amount of FPS games that I believe, for myself anyway, that you can have like good stories that you can talk about, the games that have gone before. And I think that Battlefield particularly does very well, and I think it's because often there's a real progression through a game. The games often last quite a long time, and they often, you really feel like you're achieving objectives and gaining ground, and you know, you're really fighting for what you're doing. And often there's real moments where you're like, oh, do you remember that jet coming in and we took that down, or there was a tank and we blah blah blah. So I think as well, you only get that if you're in a clan or something like that, because you play with the people every day, so you will go to them the next day and say, oh last night was good, we did this, we did this, we did this. So that's one thing that's really great about having a clan. And I often see a lot of people saying, oh, I always have trouble, you know. If you've never been in a clan or guild or anything like this, I would advise people to try it. You know, look online, there's forums and stuff. If people are interested to try and join mine, you can look. I've already posted before about my clan, it's Veritas Gaming. You can look at the video I posted a couple of days ago, which explains a bit more about it, and so on and so on. But yeah, clans and guilds are great, and they really give you they really help bring together what gaming is all about, and they give you a lot of community. You meet often some good people through it and things like this. This has been my 200th video, and I've answered a few questions there, a few Battlefield things, a few non-Battlefield things. Just wanted to give a chance to get people to ask me some questions. But if you want to ask me things, if you want to throw stuff out or ask me questions or have any suggestions for things, you can do it on this video, or you can also contact me on Twitter. So if you check me out at Lutin09, you can throw me questions on there as well, and the next time I do one of these, maybe I'll include your stuff as well. Or if you have some good ideas, like recently I've had some great suggestions and sort of input from subscribers. I really want people, when they watch my videos, to comment and actually get involved. So when you watch my stuff, don't just watch it. Try and make a little comment as well, because it's really good to kind of get involved in that whole back and forth. And I know sometimes when you watch videos about things, you kind of people can just kind of watch. They just like to watch and listen about the things, but it's really good to kind of get involved and talk to people. I think maybe sometimes people don't comment because they think that the producer isn't going to reply to them, but I do my best to reply to a lot of people. So if you've got something to say, then please get on and reply, and I'll do my best to get involved with everyone there is. So yeah, this has been kind of good. I've got some thoughts about more things coming up. I've got a couple more videos on the way, got some Battlefield gameplay, got some other bits and pieces and projects when I can get the time to do them. So thanks for supporting everybody so far, and I hope that the channel grows, we get some more people to come and check things out, and I hope that everybody continues to enjoy the stuff that I've been doing. So thanks for watching, guys. This is 200.